The first one who got leukemia, when he was 18 years old, he found out that he had leukemia when he was 18. He wasn't religious at that time, and he told me this. He said he went home and started to cry and wail and say, what have I done? Why did I deserve this? Why? He began to have doubt about his own faith. He said a few months later, I went back to the doctor and it was all gone. It was all gone. But he was almost about to do kufr. And he was gone. So after that, he actually became thankful to Allah. He started worshipping and became more religious. He even grew his beard. And he became one of those who became very knowledgeable in the religion, alhamdulillah, and made da'wah to his family. I think over 20 members of his friends also became better Muslims, and one girl over the internet, he gave her da'wah and she became a Muslim as well. At the age of 22, he felt ill again, and leukemia came back into his body. It's in Allah's wisdom why this happened. But look at his state now. He said, brother, now I've got leukemia, but he is now thankful to Allah. He still worships Allah. He asked me, should I shave my beard? I said, be patient, brother. Just keep it, even if it's one last hair. He kept it. And he went through a great struggle, my dear brothers and sisters, for 8 months under chemotherapy. It's unimaginable what kind of pain they go through, ya ikhwan. Yeah, and he takes out all their white cells that protect them from all the bacteria and viruses, that if he got a cold, a flu, he'll die from it if he doesn't go to the hospital within about 5 or 6 hours. He went through that. One time, one of his hoses that go into his heart, he has to keep it 24/7. It became loose and blood started to pour. He fainted and he was taken to an hospital, an emergency. And he thought he was going to die. Then he woke up, and they said, if you were here half an hour late, you would have been dead. And on and on. Then, alhamdulillah, they found a donor for him. And he did a transplant of the other person's blood marrow. Alhamdulillah, it worked out. But still till now, he is 1 day at home, 5 days in hospital. Because it takes time for it for his body to accept it. The other day he attracted an infection. He had to be in hospital for 5 days and 5 nights. It was very bad. We thought he was going to go, that's it. I went to visit him, brothers and sisters, wallahi, the state I saw him in. He couldn't speak because of the side effects. Inside of his mouth he was full of, wallahi, I'm not exaggerating, probably 50 ulcers and pimples inside of his mouth and on his tongue and at the back. Couldn't eat, he couldn't drink from it. They had to put it through his nose and through his blood. And he's still going through it. He needs about a year to see whether his body accepts it or rejects it. Yet wallahi, I have never seen a person like him in that situation who was closer to Allah than he ever was. So the Prophet ﷺ said, never look at those who are less fortunate than you. Always look at never look at those who are more fortunate than you in life. Look at those who are less fortunate than you in life. This is better for you, he said, أَلَّا تَزْدَرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ, so that you will not be ungrateful for what Allah has already blessed you. You know this on television, this marketing world, it has placed a disease in us. This disease of want, not need, want. I've got to have that particular thing on television. Children today, spoiled. I've got to have that iPod. I've got to have that new PlayStation. I've got to have that. I've got to have that. I've got to have that. Women and men wailing, and we've got to have this. We've got to compete in that way. Look at so-and-so, what they have in their house. We should get like them. And families are splitting apart. Competition about worldly things. And they forget that there are people who are deprived of being able to even drink water in their day, who don't know whether they're going to survive till the next day, such as the tsunami in Indonesia. When I visited those orphans, wallahi, I cried night and day, drinking from filthy water. You should see where they're sleeping, wallahi. None of us here would let their, if they had a cow, they wouldn't let their cow sleep there where they're sleeping, but they couldn't do anything. And the orphans are happy running around, subhanAllah, orphans. Thanking Allah, praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them blessings and help them. I finish it, my dear brothers and sisters, with a dua. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in English so everybody can understand. Allahumma, Ya Allah, we thank you for what you have blessed us with, for every breath that we breathe, for every eyesight that we have, for every day that you bring us back to life after death, meaning sleeping. I ask you, O Allah, to forgive us for every moment we wailed and every moment we complained. I ask you, Ya Allah, for every person tonight who is sick or ill, and for any person who is in debt, for any person who is in hardship, to relieve them from their hardship, from their debt, from their illness and their sickness. I ask you, Ya Allah, subhanah, whoever is in prison now, who is being oppressed, to relieve them from what they are in, and to save them, to make them better people. I ask you, Ya Allah, to unite our hearts, and to make us satisfied for what we have. Allahumma rizukna al-qana'a. Oh Allah, give us satisfaction. Allahumma habibna ila ta'atik. Oh Allah, make us love your worship. We ask you, Ya Allah, to make us never feel ungratitude towards your blessing. We ask you, Allah, to increase our blessings and to not make us hoardful, to not make us heedless of your ni'mah, and to not make us arrogant when you bring something to us. We ask you, Ya Allah, to not make us those who despair and quavel over things that have passed us, and not to be proud of the things that we have received. We ask you, Ya Allah, to make us generous, and to let us drink from the hands of the Prophet ﷺ on the day of judgment, and to unite us with those who donate from their wealth night and day, to make us one of those who are generous, to make us one of those who are thankful, to make us one of those who will be among those who will enter paradise without hisab or adhab, Ya Rabbil Alameen. You said, Ya Rabb, that the greatest occupants of heaven are the poor people. So, O Allah, give us that characteristic that they have, no matter if we are wealthy or poor, Ya Rabbil Alameen.